I mean, I would imagine, and I'm kind of, this is going to be with you having a gender non-conforming kid that uses they as a pronoun, which is just part of the world. I don't know why people get hung up on things like this anyway. So whenever people talk to me, they want to know, am I married? Do I have children? You know, people are nosy. They want to get to this next level. So I'm imagining it happens with you all as well, where somebody will come up and say, hi, who are you, blah, blah, blah. And you'll say, I'm Carrie, you got kids? Yeah, I've got 2. Can you kind of take me down the conversation that happens after somebody says, oh, do you have children?
Yeah, it is definitely more challenging. Well, I can't really say more challenging, but when Mace first said, I'm non-binary, I mean, I am a health teacher. I teach about sexuality. I did not understand what Mace was saying. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, I don't identify as a male or a female. I don't want to be a he or a she. And I didn't understand it. And I said, well, why can't you be she, but then and then make she whatever she means to you? Why don't you just say, I can be a girl who has short hair and who doesn't dress like that? I wasn't getting it, but it was just because I didn't understand. It didn't mean I didn't love Mace. I just didn't understand it. And then Mace schooled me about non-binary, and I had all the same fears that your parents had, and I knew that the problem wasn't in my child. The problem was out there, and so that's where I had to focus my energy and my efforts. But I did not want my child to ever feel like they had to pretend and be anybody who they weren't. But it was difficult for me to really understand the non-binary. So now, and it took a while for me to use the right pronoun because I had 16 years of saying, come on girls, or I have 2 girls, 2 daughters, and I even had this thing with Mace where I would say, if I mispronoun you, just say ouch. And when you say ouch, I'll get it, and I'll say, oops, sorry, because it's not intentional. So we did a lot of ouch and oops, sorries for a long time. But when I meet people, just the other day, Mace auditioned for a musical, and there was a parent meeting, and I got there, and they're like, oh, we haven't never seen you before. And I said, yeah, it's our first time. And they said, son, daughter? People always ask. And I said, well, actually, my 18-year-old is non-binary. And some people know what that means, and this person did. And said, really? And I said, yeah. And I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I go on dates, I meet people, and I think it really, I like to just put it out there and then see, it's an opportunity to explain to people something that I didn't know till I was 40, in my mid-40s, so.
I think that's part of it where we're talking about people don't even know what they don't know.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons that I'm so vocal about I am transgender. That's why I start my show saying those 3 words, I am transgender. Because people don't even, not to say that people wouldn't know I'm transgender walking down the street, but how are people going to know who transgender people are if transgender people aren't given the opportunity to safely show the world who we are? And I understand why there's a lot of transgender people that prefer not to do that, because it can be dangerous. It can be scary, it can be intimidating, it can mean a lot of discrimination. But for me, being this authentic person helps that person there that knew somebody that was non-binary, like, oh, really, I know this. I had a transgender person reach out to me just randomly about a year ago because a friend of mine from up here knows that I'm transgender. That my friend went to their high school reunion, and in comes a transgender woman who was freaking out, scared, because this was her kind of coming out party to the world. And there was my friend that was perfectly ready to be that person's friend and understand everything that was in my life to help them. And that person randomly reached out to me and said, thank you. You didn't even know that by being friends with this person, you just made my life easier. And that's why when you're being honest with people and you're saying, my kid's non-binary, you don't know what that's going to do. There's no telling what we're actually doing.